So I am going to kind of give you guys a little preview to what has been going on up here around my holler. Okay. Now this is the kind of corruption, and you might as well call it a conspiracy at this point. Okay. Look what we have to deal with every day. Ready? Are you ready to see what happens when the dog warden shows up out here? Now, mind you, there has been documented. We've got so many videos, but, I wasn't trying to put nobody on blast. I was just documenting and saving and stacking up just in case something happens. Well, I think it's time to let the world see, if not for anything else, just to protect myself. You might be a hillbilly. I don't know if you want to laugh or cry at this video. It's really kind of sad. But just to let y'all know, I didn't go sticking my nose in anybody else's business. I was in my own house. Okay? They've been here 10 or 15 times, the dog warden, to get these people's animals at different times. And they always weasel their way out, and get their way, always. And the things that suffer are the children and the animals, right? Well, dog warden comes knocking on my door the last time they were here, and gave me his phone number, told me he didn't care day or night to call him. As soon as we saw the dogs again outside, he was going to come and get them. Just all this stuff. Well, then he comes up here today and saying how Jim Stevens, our city cop, wouldn't even come up here. That he pulled off down at the mouth of the holler, and he wouldn't even come up here with him. Okay, that didn't surprise me much. Probably because he knew that the kids weren't supposed to be with the parents, and he would have to do something if he actually saw them together. Or he just didn't want to come up here and have to order him to give the dogs over to the dog warden. But then we were told that Jim Stevens allegedly told the dog warden that he better not take their dogs. Better not put his hand on them dogs. So, you see how corruption and intimidation goes in this holler. Buckle up, Buttercup. Here it comes. Well, they ain't taking it. They ain't putting. They taking them with them. Yeah, I'm recording, little girl. Here, let me get it on. She's under the age of 18. I don't give a shit. You're in public. I'm calling and reporting you for harassment, son. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to.
Go ahead.
You can find out.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go, hillbilly bitch.
Go find a boyfriend yourself, or you can't let
Nobody
too
gonna
ugly.
have her, honey.
Yeah, I'm too ugly.
I am so sorry.
I know. Y'all right.
You're so sorry. I thought you were supposed to be taking them.
I thought I was. I mean, as long as they take them with them and they ain't locked in that house.
That woman just called us, told us to come get them. Or they let them have either one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, sure did.
Okay.
Everybody ain't a fucking bitch like you are.
Okay, yeah. Bye.
Yeah, boy, we'll be back here for a few days.
Okay. Bye. Now, hey, Mr. Dog Warden, come tell us. Now that is absolutely not what you just told me.
My boss said that he called them.
That is not what you
I
just
thought
told me.
I was here to get them. That's what I thought.
And so what? Kim?
She told them that they either had to come get them out of that house where there's no power or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Take them with them or give them to me. That's what I was told just then.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not what you told me when you first got here.
I thought I was here to get them.
Okay. Thanks. You hear that, Ash? So here is our city street. Here's our city street that comes down. This is the road on the map that is marked. It's on our city map too. I mean, if you want to change it, then you need to change it if you're not going to enforce something. But they won't enforce anything. Okay, so there used to be a house that sat right here. And the man who owned my house here before years ago, he lived in this house. The house got tore down. He owned this whole property here. Well, the old man gets sick. He was close to 90. He was in his 80s. Wonderful little old man that we all loved. And, you know, what could he do? So while he lived here alone, pretty sickly, this neighbor decides to just start bringing in all this junk. All this junk. And he just kept piling it up and piling it up and piling it up. Old man didn't have no choice. The old man had no choice. Well, he's piled it up so bad back there. I mean, it's just ridiculous. He's brought in this machine. I'm sure he takes this trailer and goes up, and I'm sure he probably steals trees off people's property, and then without them even knowing. And then they bring it all back here, and it's like an illegal chop shop, you know, in my backyard. But it's like an illegal wood chopping shop. And any coal that he can scavenge. I mean, anything that he can steal, anything that he can take, he does. And brings it all back here and just junks up, you know, this street. And he's just claimed this as his driveway. Just because he's claimed it as his driveway does not make it true. Yeah, I mean, he's got a dang cherry picker right here in the middle of the street. Now, I have to park my truck up here in front of this fallen down house because I can't even get down here and park in my own driveway. Now, this is their driveway. Right here. They have a driveway right there. This was you came down this street and parked here for this house. House got tore down. Well, I would like to park on my own property. But, so we go to the city council meeting, and the city council, the city attorney tells us, well, I guess you are the proud new owner of a new houseboat. But this one over here threatens to touch his stuff, and we'll see what happens. Touch his stuff. We'll see what happens. Yeah, well, we saw you pew-pewed our neighbor's dog when it chased after one of your chickens that was running in the neighborhood. Loose. Not even on his property. But what's he do? He runs down here and gets one of these other chickens that his dogs had already killed and throws it on the porch down there. And then, you know, says that our neighbor's dog had killed his chicken on his property, even though everybody was out here and saw it. So I have to park my truck up here in front of this fallen down house because I can't get down the street to park. I can't do anything with the back half of my property, even though I have it posted, no trespassing. But he says that that's his property. So then he goes across the creek to somebody else's property. There's a big graveyard up there on the hill. He goes over there to somebody else's property and he starts just cutting the side of the mountain away. Builds him a chicken coop, puts him in gardens, puts him in some stairs, and there's his latest. He's been down there digging the side of that hill out. That's not his property. He was renting to own this house. And the people who own this house, the old person who owned this house just died a couple weeks ago, so they'll probably try and steal it. I mean, they just claim whatever property they want to claim and then argue and fight and swear up and down and cuss you out and, you know, and the neighbors just are forced to deal with it. They burn their garbage in the creek bed down there. They pour oil. He pours oil out of one of these barrels that he's got down here, and he does it in the middle of the night. And he goes out here on one of the flat rocks in the creek, and he takes all their garbage and puts it all on that flat spot and pours that oil on there, and he burns the garbage into the creek. And he does that about once a month for all their garbage, because they won't pay for garbage pickup. Yeah, find out at the city. How much have they been paying that? They ain't got no water. They ain't had power in months. Social workers and dog wardens say it's all gravy. And our police officer says it's all gravy, but I'm a stalker and I'm a harasser. Okay. Let's take a look at what happened today. Now, just to also give you a little backstory. This dog warden came and knocked on my door. Excuse me. He came and knocked on my door and asked me if I would help him get these dogs. Well, he didn't get them that day, but he gave me his phone number, talked a big old talk about how he was getting these dogs out of this environment. They're regularly starved, locked in a hot house with no air conditioning. Now today when they left their door wide open, but so, which I just still did not call. These dogs were all locked up for another week, starving, no food, no water in there. I still did not call, because I've learned it doesn't do no good. Well, neighbor sent me a text message and said they're on their way. They're coming to get these dogs. And what do you know? 5 minutes before... No, it wasn't even 5 minutes. The dog warden got here first. And so I walked outside because they were locked in that house there, and you know, they have to have a police officer to come and get them out of a hot house with no power, no air, no nothing. And so I came out here and talked to the dog warden, and he was giving this big old talk, buddy. He was taking these dogs. And then Johnny pulled up. Right here. And I said, well, we don't get along very well, so I am going in the house. And I walked in the house, and this is what happened. Now, I don't know how many times that you just keep letting these people get by with this. Like, they've been out here so many times, and they keep telling them the same thing, right? You either get them out of the house, take them with you, or give them up. But so they'll come out here, they'll put them in the truck, they'll take off with them, and then they'll come back tonight and put them back in there. So then you can't get the dog warden back out here for another 3 weeks. But you know, even though he gave me his phone number and told me to call him whenever I saw the dogs and stuff, I never did call. I never did call. I knew it wouldn't do no good. I knew. I've always said, the more that you call anybody, the worse it gets. And so now, people have called so many times on them, and they single me out as the one that's causing all the trouble. Just because I stand up to him. But I don't call. I don't ever call on them. Because this is the kind of stuff that it causes. My hair's sticking up. You might be a hillbilly, y'all.